Hello, my name is Ricardo, and I'm going to be telling you basically the process of DNA so far. So, as you guys already know, I'm playing John Tate in DNA. John Tate is a very explosive, controlling, intimidating character. So basically, he's like the leader of the group before Phil takes over. His character is very. That was hair. His character is he's very funny with some people, but let's just say he's very controlling with some people, such as Danny, Lou. Yeah, he controls them more or less the time. But with Kathy, he's very sensitive with her. Like he tends to be very less aggressive and more kind of sweet, and he may show a little cockiness in front of her just to impress her. With Richard, he's very intimidating because he sees him as his rival. Stuff like that. He finds Leah or Liam very annoying. He's just one of those characters. But yeah, so realness, John Tate is kind of like the first sort of character I played that is very intimidating and supposed to be shown as like a very intimidating, controlling person. So I've never done stuff like that. So I was like, you know what? I would go for a comedic role, but I want to step out of my comfort zone and try something which is different. So yeah, I auditioned for him and got the character. So yeah, so far the process, what's been going well so far? My lines, perfect. The line techniques, to be honest, I don't really struggle on lines that much anymore. Like I remember the first year, I used to literally scream. I was like, I can't learn lines. Like I real struggle. But I've had so much line techniques that I've been given from teachers, friends that's helped me a lot, such as look, cover, and read, the first letter tactic or line reading technique. I can't really figure the names, but they helped me a lot. The one which I learned recently, there's two which I've learned recently, where I do the action of what's in the line. So for example, if the line has something to do with the word cold, if I don't know it, I'll basically I'll do an action something like that, because this shows I'm cold. So if I forget my line, if someone's trying to help me, they can just go like that. I'm like, oh, that's it. It's something to do about cold. What's a line which has something to do about cold? Something like that, basically. Another technique which I've learned is actually that was the only one. Oh no, there's another one where I say one of my lines or paragraphs or whatever. I basically split it up into sections, because what I find is that if you ever have a chunk of like lines to learn, the best thing which I do is like I do it like in a sandwich. So it's like you focus on one part at a time. So you split it up into parts, and then you learn this part. Once that's done, you learn this part, and then you learn the other part. I did that. It sort of helped me. So what I did to help better myself was that I said that one line in one room, and then I said it into another room, and then I just kept changing in different rooms. So I did that. I slowly began to pick up the pace with the lines, and then I started experimenting on them, which helped me a lot. And yeah, basically all those line techniques have helped me a lot in the past, and look at me now, fly past them now, which is great. My physicality, I believe, is definitely have improved. I used basically my character has a match, so that he has a box of matches and a stick. I use the matches to like scare people now, because before I was originally going to do a lighter, but the matches are more sinister, more dangerous, because it can show I'm like a ticking time bomb. I'm like, one of my lines is I'm like to Lou, I'm like, are you scared of anyone in this school? And I could just have like the flame in my hand as like a warning saying, you better choose me, otherwise consequences right here in my hand. So yeah, my physicality is definitely improved a lot. I'm more open. My character's very open. He's not very like closed sort of person, because if he's closed then he's very shy, whereas he's not very shy. He's very confident in what he says, so he's very open. And what I did was as well, I've looked at not practitioners. I've watched movies where there's a controlling person or someone who's very intimidating, I've watched like their body language. I've seen their facial expressions on stage where they just stare at people down. They don't even blink. They just stare at people. Just like the staring part, I'm very good with because I can stare at people for like a long period of time, and it makes them uncomfortable, which is really good. Well, good and bad at the same time. There's pros and cons to this, but it's very good because I know they do say that if you stare at someone longer than 6 seconds, they begin to feel very uncomfortable. So I may feel uncomfortable when I stare at someone like this, but it does help a lot. It does help a lot when I stare at people like that. So, and plus, it'll make it more realistic. So that, for example, having my eyebrows crossed, my nostrils flaring up, just staring at people straight down, like, you better be careful what you say. I don't know, just it helps a lot. I've really proud of myself how I've able to build myself up from starting very low, saying how am I supposed to impersonate and intimidate and control this person, to me knowing like I know exactly how to do it now, how he will act, what would he do with his hands, what would he do with his feet, would he be kicking his feet, would he be fiddling with his hands, would he do this with his hands to show that he's controlling his anger, trying to maintain his anger, stuff like that. As a class now, as an example, how I work well as an ensemble. See, our class struggles with lines right now. There's some people, basically there's half the class know our lines. I'm one of those people. Half the class doesn't know our lines. So it's a bit of a because you're kind of letting us down as well. And we're in level 2, like we should know our lines by now. So what we do, well, what we've been directed as well, is to help people. So one of my friends, he struggles with his lines, and I don't blame him. He's got like chunks to learn. So what I do is I like basically share my line techniques, and for example, I've given him the one where I break down the paragraphs because he's got lots of paragraphs to learn. So I said to him that it'll be better to type it out on the computer, sort of like slowly cut it down. Because I remember I did that with one of my monologues. It was so long. I was like, you know what, let me type on Google, type on PowerPoint or Word, split it up, highlight them, because it helps me. And yeah, it should, if you just read it, probably more than an hour, because I probably did like an hour and a half. Just, as long as you just at least learn something a day from those monologues, you should be fine. So I gave him that, the technique. I also gave him the physicality one, the one which I demonstrate, just stuff like that I've given. So as an example, we're slowly getting there. I believe it's just the lines and the cues, and the energy in the room. Some people are lacking the energy, but I think this has got to do with the lines as well. So I remember this was in the past, but like I might start doing this again if we play this game called Zip. So we go sip, zip, sap, boing, that game what we do. So basically that game is to like build up energy, and if someone loses that energy, as a class, we go like we're building that energy up again. So for starters, once we do that, do a scene or so, we might get into a circle and just quickly build the energy up. Just something to like get us hyped up, or just give us a little oomph, because we want our play to be a 10 out of 10, not a 5 out of 10, not 6 out of 10, a 10 straight up. And yeah, that's what we need to work on. But as a class though, we do work well. We have each other's backs. For example, the other day, my friend, he forgot his line. So instead of there just be an awkward silence, we just picked up into a different line, and then we just carried on from there. It's good that we have each other's backs, but like no one's alone in this whole production. As for my proposal, my skills for my proposal, what I need to work on, also I'll get to what I need to work on as well, but my proposal skills. My 3 proposal skills are vocal, physicality, and facial expressions. I've talked about facial expressions already. I've talked about physicality as well. My voice, it's been clear, no, not really. It's been loud, it's been loud, so everyone can hear me, but I need to slow down. a bit. I did have a habit of speaking really quickly, but I think that's because that back then I wasn't too sure of my lines, so I was just speaking very, very quickly. But now I'm able to, like, take my time with the word, actually say the word, and do tongue twister exercises. I actually did one the other day. I actually got one for the first time, and I was very proud of myself. It was like, I can't remember, but there's a clip. I'll probably put the clip under this video of me saying the words. It was like, yeah, I remember now. All I want is a cup of coffee made in a proper copper coffee pot. I believe it's something. There's probably more to it, but there's probably more towards it. But that's what we got so far. I'll send the clip. Yeah, that's what I said. I just need to work on my articulation, actually spit out the word, and my THs. Like, I say thing. I'm saying it right now. Thing. Like, I'm supposed to put my tongue between my teeth and actually spit it out. Before, I used to put my tongue at the top of my gum and say thing, like it was sound there. Thing. Okay. It's hard to do it now because I'm so used to it, but it didn't sound like a TH thing. It sounded like a PH or whatever you want to call it. But I've slowly broken down with the words, actually done some tongue techniques, worked out my tongue. Well, basically some tongue workouts to the point where my tongue is very tired. Stuff like that. It's helped me a lot. So it has improved a bit in my eyes. I've recorded myself sometimes when I'm rehearsing also, and I do hear the words come out. But I hope, and the audience so far have said that they've heard me clear. So I think my articulation has definitely improved as well. And plus, reading does help. Reading helps me. So yeah, what I need to work on is probably just my because so far I have all my props, my matches and all that sort of stuff. I did say to myself that should I have a football, because my character is very sporty, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with the football. I did say to myself I might just kick around with the ball, I just have it below my feet, but I don't want it to be in the way of other people. But I'll probably have it because I'll probably have it like just below my feet, and if I'm talking to someone, then I'll just leave it like on a bench or so. And if I'm walking off stage, I'll just bring the ball. I'll make sure I bring the ball with me, and then yeah, I think that's what I'll do really. Costume wise, I know what I'm wearing for my costume, because at the start of the scene I'm wearing I'm wearing a shirt, tie, trousers and a coat because it's autumn time. And yeah, that's more or less it really. And yeah, I believe I've covered everything. I'm just making sure if I have. Give me a moment please. Yeah, I think that's more or less it really that I've covered. Yeah, so hope you enjoyed and see you later.